Hey guys, it's the Captain here from NAMM 2017, and I'm on a stand of a brand new company that have just launched at the beginning of 2017 called Headrush. It's a guitar effects company, and we're going to show you their latest and newest product called the pedalboard. And Mike here from Headrush is going to tell us a little bit about it.
Hey, thank you very much. So the Headrush pedalboard is the world's first standalone amp sim with a quad-core processor and an integrated touchscreen. So what does that mean for a guitar player like me and bass players too? Well, during the development process, what we set out to do was three things. We wanted to focus on tone, so it had to sound really good. We wanted to focus on options, so it had to be versatile, and we wanted to focus on it being user-friendly. And we know that there's a lot of companies out there that have one or two of those sewn up pretty well. There's a lot of things that sound really good and have a lot of options, but user-friendly, not so much. So what this means is you can now get in and not have to dive into these tiny little screens with cursors and jog wheels, because we have a fully integrated 7-inch colored touchscreen interface. So I can get in quicker, faster, easier, more intuitively, just out of the gate without having to read 100 things in the manual and watch a bunch of videos and so on and so forth.
Okay, well look, that sounds exactly like the product that I guess most guitar players are looking for. You know, nobody wants a manual the size of the telephone directory. If you're thinking that these guys, I suppose in fairness, it's not entirely fair to say that these are totally new kids on the block. There's obviously a lot of heritage with the 11 rack guys. So can you tell us a little bit about the connection between 11 rack and Headrush?
Absolutely. So InMusic Brands, the parent company of Headrush, we acquired M-Audio roughly 3.5–4 years ago, and with that acquisition we ended up purchasing the 11 tech. And it kind of sat on a shelf, and we were kind of curious about what we were going to do with it. In between that time, we actually ended up acquiring these really amazing processors and touchscreen interfaces, which you can see in some of our other sister company products. And so we started talking about what we were going to do with 11. And the biggest idea we came up with was actually pretty modest. And we started using this processing power, and we were like, wow, this sounds amazing. We're really onto something here. We could do something with this. And so that was kind of the birth of this whole project. Was we were onto something that sounded good, just the legacy plugs through the new processor. So we recalibrated it, redid the math. We added a lot of new models. We ended up using a lot of tech from our Air Music Tech brand. So there's a lot of integration in here, and now what you see 11 HD expanded.
Okay, so we have taken a DI from one of the speakers it's plugged into. So we've got all of the cabinet simulation switched on. You're hearing this DI'd rather than kind of, you know, through an ambient mic or anything like that. I'm going to zoom in now on the unit and let Mike just take you through some of the, you know, how it edits and some of the tones.
So if we were going to start making a new rig from scratch, this is basically what we would see. It's a clean blank slate here, and each of these individual slots are called blocks. So you could simply touch on a block, and then it pulls down the drop down of all the options you have available here on the Headrush unit. So we could select an amp, and then you could choose from 33 different onboard amplifiers. It's going to automatically pair it with a complementary cab, but you can change that cab by double tapping it, and you can choose from one of 15 different cabinets on board, as well as 11 different microphones. So you could really get into tone sculpting right away. You could also choose whether or not you want that mic to sit on axis or off axis, as well as adjust speaker breakup, all from this screen. From there, you can drag and drop each individual block wherever you like. So if I was going to continue to build onto this, I might add something like maybe a compressor and maybe an overdrive pedal. If you double tap the block, then you can get in, you can actually adjust the color. So now you can color code it to your heart's delight. And let's add something else for kicks. Let's go ahead and let's add a reverb. Maybe we want that reverb to live up here in between the head and the cabinet. So great, now we have a clean template here. Let's go ahead and build a rig from scratch. All you have to do is simply touch one of the empty blocks. Here, this is where you get all your options to choose from. So if we could select an amplifier, we have 33 different amplifiers on board to choose from. I'll go ahead and grab a Mesa Boogie. It's automatically going to pair it with a complimentary cab, but you can choose whatever cab you wish just by double tapping, and you can choose from one of our 15 cabs on board, as well as one of our 11 different microphones on board. From here, you can also adjust whether you not want that microphone to sit on axis or off axis and adjust the speaker breakup. Then you can simply drag and drop your different blocks wherever you want in the signal path, and you can continue to build from here. I might want to pick something like a compressor and probably an overdrive. You can double tap the block, and from there you can assign the color, you can adjust the parameter, and now you're in business. All right?
What's the point of adjusting the color? Is it to do with the lights that the switches come up?
Sure, color coding makes it very personalized, so that way when you're in an actual performance environment, you can be familiar with what you're seeing. Like for me personally, if I take off my glasses, I'm blind. I can't read what's on the little scribble strip, but I can see the color red, you know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about now what we've done. We have these different blocks, but you can see they're all thrown up here onto the top row. So I want to go ahead and put these onto the bottom row. So I can go into hardware assign, and now I simply just drag and drop, and you can see they're populating in here. Now a lot of other kids on the block, they have hardware assign, but nothing that fast and effective. Now here's something that's really cool. Once you have it set up in a real performance environment, this is going to sit on the floor. So I'm not going to want to reach down and make adjustments to these things. Instead, what I might do is put my foot down onto one of the parameters, or one of the blocks rather, and then it gives me access to all the different parameters within that block. I can simply choose that, and now I can adjust it in real time using the expression pedal. That's really cool, really fast, and really easy.
Well, look, why don't we pick a couple of the presets that you've already made before, and let's have a listen to them.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Cool. Let's do that. So I'm going into set list mode. I have a few that I have queued up for NAMM here, including one of my favorite high gain settings here. So I'll go ahead and play this for you.
Sure.
So you can hear a lot of the distinction. You get that really nice bark and bite in the low end. You can hear all the note separation in the big chord. Things I look for when I'm checking out a model, or things I listen for, is the separation in each individual note in the big, large chords, especially with a saturated tone like this, and also just the dynamics overall and the way it feels,
Well, what about something that's, because that's kind of, I guess, a kind of go-to preset for someone that's using a super high gain, modern metal kind of tone. What about something a little bit more old school, just a sort of maybe a cranked Marshall or something like that?
Yeah, sure. I can cue that up really quick for you. Going to all rigs here. And now you can see everything that's what's really cool is if I roll back on my volume knob, you can really hear the characteristics and the dynamics. Very convincing. Feels really good too.
Cool. Well, look, dial up something that's like a sort of Fender Deluxe with some nice reverb on it, and we'll get Pete to have a little strum on here as well.
That sounds great, man. Let me do that for you.
Do you know what? Here's a trick. I've literally not seen this product before. All I've seen is what you've seen, and I'm going to try and see if I can remember that and edit a patch without having ever seen the manual or anything, whilst Pete plays. How about that? Oh look, I couldn't remember how you kind of got back into the pedal after you'd assigned it, but that's not bad, is it? I mean, it was pretty quick and simple to get a convincing tone. What did you want to do?
Just hold it. Was that what it was?
No, I don't think it.
Double tap it.
That's what it just seems to turn it on and off if you double tap it.
Double tap above the foot switchboard.
Ah, I see. Just a certain place that you've got to do it. I see. Okay, understood now. I understand now. And you literally turn them on and off by hitting the button. I kind of wanted to get rid of it. That was why I wanted to. And what about if I just wanted to get in and adjust what about if I just wanted to get in and adjust the actual knobs on the amplifier?
So go ahead, give it a touch. Now it throws the parameters to the right side of the screen. Now you use the tactile knobs to control. Now if you want to get to the next page, just touch the bar.
Touch the bar.
The right bar. Where it has the parameter markings on it.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Oh, I see. Right, I can just go through them. Oh, so we've got a tremolo here. Let's turn this on. Play some John Mayer. You know you want to. And just because I know that's obviously, this is your favorite kind of setting, I just thought... That's enough of that. Anyway, so what else do we know about Headrush? I think we know roughly how much it's going to cost, don't we?
We do. In the States, we're looking at $9.99 for the price point. It's going to be in stores in April.
Well, I've heard a little rumor that it might be a smidgen less than that in pounds, but who knows? And like you say, April time. But there you go. Look, we'll get one in store as well, and we'll do a more in-depth demo of it. But thank you very much, Mike, for taking us through.
Yes, thank you so much for coming.
And yeah, check out in the description below. I'm sure we'll put links to where you can find out more. But that's it. Thank you to Pete as well. What I really wanted to call that was Danish Pete is better than John Mayer. But I didn't have enough characters. That's what it was. It's so intelligent, the Headrush, it wouldn't let me write it because it's like... Right. See you later, guys. Bye.